Maybe this feels familiar. You see her online, you catch the subtle signs. She viewed your story, she liked a post, maybe she lingered on your profile. But when it comes to actually reaching out, she's silent. Not a text, not a call, just silence that eats at you every night. If this is you, then you know the confusion. You start asking yourself, if she doesn't care, why is she still watching? If she's moved on, why hasn't she let go? That constant push and pull in your mind leaves you restless, replaying every memory, every word, searching for an answer that never comes. It's like she's close enough to remind you she exists, but far enough to keep you questioning your worth. That silence isn't just quiet. It feels like a message you can't read, a test you don't understand, and it hurts more than if she had just said goodbye. And maybe deep down you wonder, is her silence really indifference, or is it telling you something you haven't been able to see yet? Most men get this situation wrong because they see her silence as rejection and they immediately feel the urge to force an answer. They either reach out too soon, trying to pull her back, or they spiral into anger and cut her off completely. Both come from the same place, impatience and insecurity. What they don't realize is that her silence isn't always the end. Sometimes it's a mirror. She's watching, she's observing, she's waiting to see how you respond when she's not giving you the validation you crave. This is where a core masculine principle comes in. A man's power isn't in chasing clarity from her, it's in holding clarity within himself. When you stop demanding answers from her silence and start embodying calm presence in your own life, she feels that shift. A 3% man doesn't fear her silence. He understands it. He lets it do what it's meant to do, reveal the truth, while he stays steady, grounded, and unmoved. And that's the difference between reacting like every other man and standing out as the one she can't forget. He scrolls late at night, the glow of the screen painting his face in pale blue. His heart skips when he sees it, her name at the top of the seen by list. She watched the story. Again, no message, no call, just that silent reminder that she's still there somewhere in the background. He sets the phone down, but his thoughts don't rest. If she's moved on, why is she still looking? If she doesn't care, why can't she let go? The questions echo louder in the quiet room than any ringtone ever could. The silence between them feels heavier than words. It's not rejection, not closure, just unfinished. He imagines her, phone in hand, hesitating the same way he does, watching but not speaking. The distance feels both unbearable and magnetic. He takes a slow breath. For the first time, it dawns on him. Maybe her silence isn't about what she feels for him. Maybe it's about what she wants to feel from him. Strength, calm, presence. The man she once looked at and trusted. And as the thought settles, he realizes her silence isn't just absence, it's a test, a waiting, a question only his steadiness can answer. One false belief men hold is thinking that if she's silent, it must mean she doesn't care. But silence isn't always absence. Sometimes it's space. She may be watching, observing, feeling out whether the man she remembers is still there or if he's lost himself in neediness. Another belief is that if she's still watching, it means she wants you to act right now. The truth is, her eyes on you don't equal an invitation. It's a signal. She's curious, not committed. What matters isn't what she's doing in the background, it's who you are in the foreground of your own life. She didn't ghost you, you disappeared from yourself. She's watching your silence, not your chase. The 3% man doesn't see her silence as a command to act or as a wound to his ego. He sees it for what it is, space. This is what he understands. Silence is not his enemy, it's his ally. It reveals whether he is steady in himself or if he crumbles without her reassurance. Most men rush to fill the void with words, attention, or desperate gestures. But the 3% man knows that pressure kills attraction. This is how he leads with presence, not pressure. He lets her silence exist without needing to fix it because he knows who he is does not depend on whether she speaks or stays quiet. He understands that her watching is curiosity, not commitment. And instead of letting that curiosity control him, he lets it grow naturally by being unshaken, calm, and centered in his own life. That's the difference. He doesn't chase her attention. He commands it by not losing himself. He notices it again, her name at the bottom of his story views, quiet but present, like a shadow that won't leave. At first, it stirs the same ache, the same restless wondering. Why is she watching if she won't speak? What does it mean? The silence presses on him like weight he can't shake. But then, in the stillness of his room, a thought breaks through, soft, almost unfamiliar. Why am I giving so much power to someone who only lingers in the background? Why am I waiting on her silence when my life is waiting on me? For the first time, he feels the shift. It isn't about her anymore. Not her eyes on his screen, not her absence in his inbox. It's about the man staring back at him in the mirror. The one who forgot his own gravity while chasing echoes. A slow breath fills his chest, heavier, steadier than before. He realizes he doesn't need her words to define him, or her silence to haunt him. Her watching is not his answer. His presence is. And in that moment, he stops waiting and starts remembering who he really is. Her silence isn't a question about her. It's a reminder for you to answer who you are without her.